Hey, hi all. So again, welcome back to this channel. So today in this video, I am going to explain a pretty important part of curriculum, right? This video is specifically for the FIBSC Computer Science students. Okay, and it is for the here. I am just want to going. I am going to explain about the instructions related to the projects or how we can do a statistical project. Okay, because you need to do the project in the second semester of statistics. Okay, so in that, uh, now the basic thing you need to understand. Okay, what are the uh, simple things you need to consider while doing the project? So the first thing, you can make it is a group project, okay, of 8 students. You can make a group of 8 friends, and it will be minimum 8 to 10. Okay, minimum 8 ते 10 पर्यंत स्टुडंट प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये तुम्ही कन्सिडर करू शकता स्टॅटिस्टिकल प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये. त्यानंतर बघा, मी आधीही तुम्हाला सांगितलं होतं की फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर मध्ये तुमची फर्स्ट जी प्रोसिजर आहे प्रोजेक्टची, दॅट वॉज द डेटा कलेक्शन. तुम्हाला सुरुवातीला डेटा कलेक्शन करायचं होतं. ओके, just choose your project name and do the data collection. Also decide the team. So that was the task which I hope you have already done in the first semester. Okay, you have to just collect the data. The first step is you have to choose the your team. Okay, choose the team. It is you have a freedom to select the friends whatever you want. Okay, then after making the team, just select the topic on which topic you have to do the project. Okay, there are multiple topics you can search on the internet. Okay, and after choosing the topic, just start to make collect the data. Okay, so this is the first primary stage of the project. Okay, that means uh, right, the things which I had till that first you had to do the choose a team, right, of 8 to 10 students, and then uh, choose your topic, whatever the topic which suits you, right, and then you can collect the data, right, related to the topic. Now, the first step of the project, you can say it is a data collection. Okay, so how we can do the collect the data? Okay, again, there are two types of the data collection procedures, right? The first is the primary data and the second is the secondary data. Now, here we are trying to divide the data on the basis of the collection of the data, right? How we can collect the data. So, primary data means what? So, data which you have collected, right, individually. म्हणजेच काय प्रायमरी डेटा, जो डेटा तुम्ही स्वतः कलेक्ट केलाय. Okay, which can be in the form of the questionnaire, which can be in the form of the uh, any other right medium, right, but you specifically personally collecting the data, so that will be individual data. So that is the primary data, and the secondary data means what? When the data is already available or the investigation is already done, so that is the secondary data. Okay, so that is the primary data and secondary data. So डेटा कलेक्ट करताना तुम्ही कसं करू शकता मग डेटा एखाद्या प्रोजेक्ट वरती? यू कॅन मेक अ क्वेशनरी. आता क्वेशनरी पेजच्या फॉर्म मध्ये मेक क्रिएट करणं, that will be little hard for you, right? So you can do one thing, you can make a Google document, right? There you can uh, just type your questions. Okay, whatever the questions which are related to that project, right? Just type that question and share with your friends or your relatives, right? In 1 to 2 days, you have to just collect that data because the time is very limited now. You have to do the procedure fast. Okay, because this is the things which we have to already done in the first semester. Okay, so that is the thing you you need to collect, this is how we can collect the data. You can make the questionnaire on the Google document, because that will be little easy task, right, to collect the data. So after collecting the data, you should have to make this data in the form of the Excel file. Okay. And after making into the Excel file, एकदा एक्सेल फाईल मध्ये क्रिएट केल्यानंतर, किंवा जो पण डेटा तुमच्याकडे ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल असेल, जो ऑलरेडी एक्सेल फाईल मध्ये क्रिएट होईल जेव्हा तुम्ही डेटा, म्हणजे जे क्वेश्चनरी सॉल्व्ह केलेले असतील जे इंडिव्हिज्युअल्स, त्याच्यानंतर ऑलरेडी तुमच्या गुगल डॉक्युमेंट मध्ये एक एक्सेल फाईल क्रिएट होईल. आणि त्या एक्सेल फाईलच्या बेसवरती यू नीड टू डू द नेक्स्ट टास्क, राईट. यू विल गेट वन डेटा नाव, okay, in the form of the CSV file or the Excel file. Now the second procedure is data representation. Okay, data presentation or data representation, graph, or we can say graphical representation. आता graphical representation म्हणजेच काय, हा डेटा फक्त तुम्हाला रिप्रेझेंट करायचा, राईट. ऍज वी नो, राईट, as per our definition of the statistic one, the first step we are doing is the data collection. The second we are doing is the presentation of that data. Presentation means what? We need to present that data, right, in the form of the graphical charts. That means visualization of the data. So हा data मग तसं तुम्ही कसा visualize करू शकता? You can use the MS Excel, okay, or also if you know how we can visualize the data in the Python, then you can also use the Python. But yeah, it is very primary stage of this project and it is a mini project, so you can simply use the Excel. Okay, and you can visualize, you can use build the graph, you know, a bar plot, histogram, pie chart, or the cumulative frequency curve. Okay, box plot you can uh, do, right, on that data. So yeah, so these are some visualization we can do on the data. Okay, so that is the second step, that is the data visualization. Okay, so that means 50% of the project is done here. Okay, right. And then third thing you need to do is the analysis. Okay, so how we can do the analysis now, right, of the do the particular data. So for doing the analysis, there are some tests in the statistics. Okay, so that is a T test, F test, chi-square test. Okay, large sample test and small sample test. Already in the third unit of the, I think, second paper, that is parametric test, we had studied about the large sample test and small sample test, right? So you have to use that, and then on the basis of that, you can test, apply the testing on that data, and do some conclusion, right? Come with some beau- meaningful insights, right, from that data. Okay, so that is the thing which you need to do. Okay, so that is the third step. You can just do the testing on the data and make the conclusion, right? So that's all. These are the things which you have to do in the project. Okay, so सगळ्यात महत्वाची स्टेप, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तुम्हाला डेटा कलेक्ट करणं, राईट, दॅट इज इम्पॉर्टंट. Okay, collect the data. After collecting the data, make a just try to represent the data in the form of the graphs. Okay, आणि ग्राफ्सच्या फॉर्म मधून जे काही व्हिज्युअलायझेशन आलेले, काही कन्क्लुजन आले असतील त्या ग्राफ्स मध्ये, किंवा जे इन्साइट्स आले असतील ते तुम्ही खाली रिप्रेझेंट करू शकता. ओके, आणि त्यानंतर तुम्हाला स्टॅटिस्टिकल टेस्ट परफॉर्म करायचे, सो दॅट विल बी काय स्क्वेअर टेस्ट, टी टेस्ट, एफ टेस्ट, राईट. ओके, so this is the things. Okay, so now, so for example purpose, I will just show you one projects which is basically a project of a consumer analysis on the various masala brands. Okay, so that project I will show you. Okay, I just want minimum, the project will be of 8 to 10 pages. Okay, that is sufficient. Okay, because it is just the first level of your statistical project, say. Yeah, so I can consider 8 to 10 pages will be there. So first two pages will be for the your certificate, right, the topic of the project, and then next will be directly you can start from the representation and the last, right, from 6 to 8th page you can do the analysis, and they will the last two pages will be for the conclusion and thank you. Okay, yeah, so I will just show you some one of the project, right? Yeah, so this is the syllabus, okay, uh, of the practical, and here in this practical you can see here the project that in this second semester you have to do the analysis of the data which we have collected in the semester one. Okay, so that you can do here now, right? So how we can make the project. Okay, so this is the first step. This is the first page you will make for the project. So which is the title page. Okay, now here this is my third year project. Okay, and here I had given the logo of that particular college. Here you can simply give a logo of DPU. Okay, and yes, the project name and the people's, right, who was there in your projects, right? All the names of the students which were in the groups. Okay, so that will be minimum 8 members will be there. Okay, don't worry, I will share this hall format, right, in the group. Okay, also in the description box of this video. Okay, the link will be shared. uh, so that is the first step, which is just the title of the project and the group members. Okay, name of the all the group members. Then the second will be the certificate of the project. Okay, just give again the name of the college. Now here it is basically now the first year students, it is for the arts, commerce, science are different, and science, computer science are different, right? So the SCS students will give the name, that is right, Dr. D.I. Patil Science and Computer Science College, and the ACS students will give Dr. D.I. Patil Arts, Commerce and Science students, right? Department of Statistics certificate, right? This will be same, class will be different, right? And the project name, okay, and again here the year, okay, year will be 20 to 23, okay. This also will be same. So that is the first two pages. That will be same for all the students, right? Only the group members will change. Okay. Again, the third page, index. So I will say index is not required. Okay, because it is a very small project. Okay, so already in the practical, you have there is index for the second semester practical. So I don't want again there is one more index in the project. So if you does not include the index in the project, so it is absolutely fine. Okay. Then this acknowledgement is also not required. Motivation, abstract, methodology. Yes. If you want to include this methodology, that means how you have did your data collection, what was your method of the data collection, what was the target population, sampling size, interview methodology. So that you can do. Okay. And if you don't want to include that, then also you can not include this methodology. But yes, this page is important. You must need to represent the objective. Now, what is the meaning of the objective? Objective means what? That means what you have showed in this project, right? What you have conclude the project, what are the aim of the project, what is your goal, right, in this particular project. So that is basically objective. Now here I have mentioned too many objective. So for your project you can minimum give the 4 to 5 objectives, right, for this project. Okay, so that is the important. You can also give this page a title as a goal of the project or aims of the project. Okay, so yeah, so this is the important. you have to show, right, what you want to basically show. That means what you had concluded from the projects, right? So that, hence you need to represent this objective page. Okay. Yeah, so that will be your third page of the project. Introduction is again not required. Okay. Now here I had given the introduction. Now this project is basically about the consumer behavior on the brand of the masala. Okay. Hence I had include here some introduction about the masalas which I had considered here. So that can, you can also suppose, if your project is on the students' behavior, right? On the uses of the Android, then you can mention, right, what are the apps, or what are the variables, right, target variables you are considered there, characteristic which you are considered, so that you can consider, uh, take that means consider into this introduction part. Okay. Yes, now this will the second process step, which is important, that is graphical representation. Okay. Now the before showing this, I had made the questionnaire, right, on this project. Okay. So which was something like this. So this is the questionnaire which I had made uh, during that project. So here you have to just give some questions. What is the age group? What is the social status? Education qualification, right? Occupation, monthly income, which the person which is filling the questionnaire, right? So these are the questions you can basically just type in your Google documents, okay, and share the form, right? That Google form to your friends, or right, your relatives, and just collect the data. Monthly income, and these are some questions, right, which are related to the project, right? When you hear recipe masala, which brand you can consider? So these are the questions. So from which I will just get, right, which brand is most popular, okay, or which brand people easily recall, right, when they heard the word recipe masala, okay, which promotional company's favorite, right? And again, this is what are the specific brand they are using from the for the different products. Okay. Okay, these are again some questions, right? There are basically how many questions are there? 16 questions are there. Okay. Yeah, so you can also just take these questions. Okay, minimum 10 to 15 questions, and from that you can collect the data. Right. So from these questions only, I can visualize the data now, right? Now from the first question, okay. So yeah, so what is the occupation status of the data, right? So from that I had get that there are 53 housewives, right? 17 employing the company, teachers, business, and wage employee, right? Now, so the data will be something, so the graph will be look like something this. Okay. So the data consists what? So these are the interpretation from that visualization. Okay, again the income classification is done. Again the brand recall, right? That means which brand is basically used, right? Most frequently. Again the promotional campaign. So these are the graphical things which you can do, right? Here I use the pie chart. Here also pie chart is there, right? Here the different type of the charts are there. You can use the histogram, right? Many again line chart is there, right? So these are the some graphical tools you can use. Okay. Okay, again market, right? Which brand is there? Okay. So which is commonly used product, basically masala product is the peoples are using. Okay. So you can include. minimum 4 to 5 graphs, right? And then after this graphical representation, the second step of the project is nothing but the right. Here are the circumstances. That means which is the circumstance which people's attracts easily, right? So that will be popularity, quality, less price. So here the peoples are attracted by the popularity more, right? 42%, half of the percentage. Okay, again, from where generally people oftenly buy the masala packet. So generally it is buy from the grocery shops. Okay. Now the second step, that is the statistical analysis. Now here for doing the statistical analysis, you can use some statistical software. So that is again in the MS Excel also you can use it, right? Now here how you can use that, you have to do some research, right? You can easily find out in the Google that is how we can use this test, right, on the Excel. There are just simple commands here which you have to put in there and then you can use. Now here for checking the normality, I had used the R software. Okay, the R software is not required. You can simply use MS Excel and from that you can check the normality or the other things, right? T test, F test, chi-square test. Okay, that you can do. Okay. Now from this normality, now here I had used this command, okay, QQ norm, okay, which is on the R software, and from that I will get the normal plot. Okay, now here the all the points are basically pretty much close to that line, right? This is my normal line. Hence, I can say the data which I had considered here of the brand Everest is the normal data. Okay, so that I can give an interpretation that the data which I had given, right, for the brand Everest, so that was a normal data in this particular project. Okay. Again, the second thing which I had checked in this project is the variability. Okay, so variability between the variance, and for that there is a variance test. Variance test is basically nothing but the F test. Okay, that you will study in the curriculum also. So F test means what? When I have to check whether the variance of the two, right, different uh, samples or the populations are same or not. In that case, I will use the variance test. Okay, so for that variability test is used. So that is I will consider one of the variance of the first sample as a sigma 1 square and the second will be sigma 2 square. And I will just check whether it is same or not. For this test is applied. Again here the R software is used. You can also use the R software also. Also you can do in the again in the Excel. Okay, and after what I get the conclusion. Now here if you put these values, right, sample values in that. Now here I have firstly put the sample values of average. Okay, all these values and then of the Suhana brand. And from that I will directly if I apply this command, right, var dot test. Var dot test means what? Is it basically test the do the F test, and from that F test I will just get the value of capital F, right? So this capital F is 0.62556 and P value is 0.08. Okay. Now here to test what I can do, I will check that means compare this P value. Okay, I will compare the P value with the level of significance alpha. Okay, that is the procedure. Now when your P value is greater than the alpha, then we will accept the null hypothesis. Otherwise, we will reject the null hypothesis. Now, since here my P value is greater than alpha, here the alpha, right? Alpha will be 0.05. Okay. Hence, I will accept the null hypothesis and simply take the conclusion. Right? Do the conclusion. Now, what will be the if I am accepting the null hypothesis and since it is the variability test, so my conclusion will be what? Yes, the variability, right, of the two brands, that is Everest brand and Suhana brands, are equal. Okay, so that is the variability. Again, there is variability between the all the brands I had checked. Now this one just for the one brand. Okay. Now what I have made, I had just made the column for the, it is the relation for the all the different brands, right? So brand for the Everest, Suhana, Everest, Badshah, all same I had done for the Suhana with other brands, Badshah with other brands, MDH with other brands, and other, right? The remaining brands. I just compare the all brands and check the variability between them. So here from this, I will just by using the p value, right? And compare that p value with the level of significance, right? If this p value is greater, then we will accept, otherwise reject. And if I'm accepting, if the null hypothesis get accepted, that means what? The variability of the two populations. That means the variance of the, right, two brands, brand Everest and brand uh, other brand, whatever it will be same, otherwise it will be not same. That is a simple conclusion of this test. Then chi-square test. Now, before applying any test, right, we need to understand one thing, that is there are some reason, right, why we are using this test. Okay. Now variability test, why we are using? Because I want to check the variance, right? Whether the variance are same or not. In that case only I will use F test. That is where dot test. F test is when I have to check the, right, equality of the variance. Okay, when we are using the chi-square test, so when I have to check the dependency, whether the two attributes are dependent or not. ओके, जेव्हा दोन ऍट्रिब्यूट डिपेंडंट असतील की नाही हे जेव्हा चेक करायचं असेल, देन आय एम यूज द chi-square test. Right. Now here I am considering the two attributes. What are the two attributes? The first is the individual income and the second is the attractive schemes on the masala. Okay, so I had that data, right? So this is the particular question I had already asked to that uh this the population, the sam, that means the individuals which I had, right? So, and from that questionnaire, I had get this data, income and attractive scheme. And from that, I am getting that, yes, yes, null hypothesis will be what? It means whether the income and attractive schemes are dependent. Okay, it is independent. That means there is no relationship between the individual income and attractive means. And the second will be there are some relation, so that is a dependent. Okay, so that will be null alternative hypothesis. So here, just from the data, I will just get, right, this table, okay, income and attractive schemes. So I just need to put this, the value of X, and again, that means the matrix I have to put in the, again, this is the R command, right? You can also do this in the Excel, or you can also use, right, uh, R software also. Okay, here I had just put it the matrix. Okay, this whole matrix, and from that I will get, yes, directly do the chi-square test. And from that, I will compare the p-value with the level of significance. And the p-value, you can see it is greater. And again, we will accept the null hypothesis. If the null hypothesis is accepted, that means there is no relation, right? Because null hypothesis is what? The two attributes are not independent. Okay, are not dependent. Okay, right? So this much test are sufficient. Okay, again, I had used the independency, right? That is dependency test for the two attribute, that is the duration and loyalty. And from the test two data, I'd again put that matrix, use the chi-square test, and from that I will get the decision rule or the conclusion, right? If I am accepting the null hypothesis, that means again the both two attributes are independent to the each other. Okay, again there is one more independency test, right? And it is for the brand and the company. Okay, so this is how we can use the independency test on the data. Proportion test is again there, right? Proportion test, I think we have already discussed, right, in our theory lectures. So yeah, so that is also a test which you can use. So yeah, I can suggest you that you can use here the minimum two tests. So that can be, first is the chi-square test, or you can use the variability test. Variability test means, right? F test. Okay, that you can use, or you can use the proportion test if it is required or if you want. Okay, so that is the two test, right? But the simple test I can suggest it is the chi-square test, right? And it will give you the more specific insights, right? So yeah, so these are the tests which can use. And these are the conclusion, right, of every single, right, of a graphical representation also, and the test also, that is statistical test which we have done, statistical analysis which we have done after the graphical test, that you can include in this conclusion section, right? So that is your last, I think, page, that will be last page of your uh, statistic project. Okay, so here it will be all conclusion will be included in this project. Okay, here you can include the limitations. What was the limitation? Was now here my limitation was what? I had just only considered the Ahmednagar district, right? Sorry, only city I had considered, right? Not whole district. So that was one limitation. Okay. Also in the data there were only females, right? Because it when we are doing collecting the data, it was not possible to go and collect the data uh, from the restaurant, right? So hence there the target population here is basically all the females, right? And it is the data of the females only. So that was also one limitation we can say. Okay. References, whatever the softwares which we have used, whatever the books which we had uses, right? So that are all the references which you can give in the this page. Okay, and you can include the questionnaire if the document, if you have the document, it is not required. Okay, if it is uh if you are not given the questionnaire, that is also okay. Okay, and the last will be a thank you page, right, after the doing all the steps. Okay, yeah, that is the basic simple things you need to do. I had already said that if you consider only 10 to 12 pages, then also it is fine. The first thing you need to consider in this project is, first will be your title page, second will be your uh, certificate page, then there will be uh, your goals, right, or the what I can say. Yes, third is the objective, right? What are the your objective of the project, and then just start with the graphical representation. Okay, so graphical representation, you know how to do that. It is basically on your from the data, and after doing the graphical presentation, just go with the some statistical test. Minimum two tests are required. After doing the statistical test, just uh, explain your conclusion briefly. Okay, from 8 to 10, right? From page number 8 to 10, and then just so that will be conclusion will be last part. Okay, and just end with the project. Okay, so this is the all things which which we have to do in the project, right? Hope you have understand, right, how you have to perform project. Okay, it's a simple project. Uh, okay, thank you. All the best.